Okay. Just give me that. Have
Welcome, we are live. Sorry,
Daniel.
we had, yep, audio's on. All right.
Oh, now we're live.
We have some moves, Chase says.
Certainly do.
Welcome, we are live. Sorry, we had, yep, audio's on. All right.
Oh, now we're live. Pardon me while I mess up all the moves here. We had e4. We had a Scandinavian by Mr. Gell. A d8 Scandinavian, Queen d8 Scandinavian. What do you think of this interesting development? They're really blitzing for the opening.
That is interesting. I think Daniel's very well prepared, so I'm curious to see how much of an advantage he can get here out of the opening.
And they're blitzing. I mean, this is your standard Scandinavian theory. In case you didn't know, theory is just a fancy word for the thing everybody's been doing since the dawn of time. In fact, the Scandinavian defense is the oldest recorded opening in chess. Didn't know if you knew that, but there's a poem. It's a poem that describes a battle, and I guess the game goes along with the poem, and that's the oldest recorded chess game. It's fascinating.
Interesting.
It was like the 1500s or some, a couple weeks ago. Some people might ask why c6? Shouldn't a knight go on c6? Well, we like to have that flexibility with the queen. We like to grab hold of the light squares now that our light square bishop's gone. It's kind of like a Caro-Kann. But we like this lovely handy-dandy Scandi pawn structure. And bishop c4, very interesting, sort of biting on granite, but developing nonetheless. What do you think?
Yeah, I liked bishop d3 there, but
I think it's more natural, but with bishop c4, I think maybe he's playing on castle queenside. Could really go either way. So what's a good move for black here? I mean, natural moves, knight coming towards the center, obviously, bishop d6. I mean, these moves play themselves. I think it's just up to Daniel to decide what he'd like to do. Bishop b4, another option for active play, but maybe not wanting to part with the second bishop. We shall see. Oh wow, very conservative approach here. I don't think I'd recommend that. We really need that active diagonal, in my humble opinion.
So we got Daniel as black then, huh?
Certainly.
I gotta switch the scene here.
Oh, you know what? It'll buff out. Oh, and if you find that I'm out of frame and I'm not realizing, just let me know.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. I am under the weather, as they say. Nonetheless, I'm here to watch the gladiatorial combat between the child and the grown man. So, let's see what we got here. Kingside or queenside? What would you do?
I am kind of a wuss when it comes to queenside.
Okay.
So I'm almost always castling kingside, but in this case, I mean, both look pretty. I mean, I think queenside almost looks safer.
Regardless of being concerned, kingside or queenside being attacked, I bought my ticket. I got my free drink voucher. I want to see some fireworks. I want to see some fireworks. I want to see blood. I want to see fighting. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Um, and now I think what he has in mind is this, um, but that's not actually all that compelling. If we look here, because of 98, simple, simple chess. Knight h5 as well, but I think 98 is more. We get something like queen g4, and then we have to find this kind of tricky move. So we'll see if Daniel can produce produce that line, or maybe he has something else in mind. What we don't want to see is g6. We just leave too many weaknesses here in the structure. Bishop can slide in. We don't want to see that. Daniel knows that. He wasn't born yesterday. Right now, I believe he's calculating whether or not castles works, and might be a little difficult to see that the knight can go back at this point since there's a king there right now. But I believe in him. I believe in him. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about it.
Perhaps perhaps some counterplay, something like b5, and even this would not be good here. This would not be good at all. Um, when it rains, it pours with these poison pawn,
Yeah.
And now at the end of the line, the bishop dies. Very tough.
It's amazing how often you can win a queen or a piece through these poison pawn tricks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you go to bat against these players that are very good, and you think, well, shoot, I need to get every pawn I can. Well, not necessarily. Some pawns are better left alive, put it that way. Um, it is somewhat of a forcing move, and white is dictating the pace of the game, which is good. But we'll see how this continues.
Yeah, my favorite kind of poison pawns are when the queen's over here,
Mm-hmm.
say, and you just have this, it's hitting this pawn down here. And in certain setups, you can play this nifty little a3 move, and then jump the knight out and trap the queen. I love that. I love that setup.
My I've had a lot of success in the London system with those kinds of setups with the knight on c3, where we can actually end up playing, knight b5, and essentially black has no choice but to accept a royal fork here or lose the queen.
Mm.
But we're not in London. We're in Scandinavia today,
Yeah.
or IKEA if you want the IKEA variation.
Yeah.
One of my friends, when he deployed to Iraq, he was with the Norwegian contingents. What's the word? Detachment. The Norwegian detachment. Uh, Training on where was he? I'm losing my mind here. Well, somewhere in Iraq, right? And he played chess with them, and he'd always tell them the joke: how does Norway bring the ships back into the harbors? You Scandinavian. And they would say, we we do not do that. We do not do that. Like they just right over their heads.
Yeah.
Excellent chess players, god awful sense of humor. Just I mean, that's peak comedy right there. I don't care what you say. Why, Daniel? Why the taking of time? Well, I suppose the calculation, which is fair. I mean, it's fair. Um, Botvinnik, excuse me, not Botvinnik. Tall said in the tournament when the clock is ticking, much harder to find the move than when you're in your study. I suppose the full context for that is the 1960 World Championship, where Tall sacrificed the knight on f5 in sort of a King's Indian position, and uh, it took the experts, following along, hours to refute the sacrifice. And after the game, he said, "Well, hours took hours, but hours at home is minutes on the clock." So,
Mm-hmm.
and we see a prophylactic knight h5. I think queen g4, and we're back. Well, we're back. And then g6 is sort of uncomfortably forced, or knight f6, and now we're just going to lose the pawn. So, I mean, those continuations are somewhat concerning. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he clearly did not see knight back to e8. Understandable with the king sitting there. Um,
It's hard move. It's a hard thing to find backwards knight moves. It's understandable. Looks like a draw so far. I love it. What's that? Hollingsworth, delightful. So which variation do you think Daniel will end up going? I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself because I think Queen G4 is rather natural,
yeah,
especially if this is your goal. This is the thing that accomplishes that goal. I mean, what counterplay is there from
yeah.
Black here?
Well, you have to move the queen, and if you're
There it
gonna,
is.
yeah, there you
He's
go.
got it. Good man. And by man, I mean man in the making, little child, right? Who's excellent at chess.
Yeah,
Delightful. Perfect.
Tanish is
Wouldn't have it any other way. Sorry.
he's getting older every time I see him. It's funny.
One
He's
of my students
he's
said,
growing a lot right now.
Mr. Ross, you look older than you were last time. I said, first of all, thanks. Second of all, I am. And so are you. It's how it works, man. It's the never-ending march of time. In fact, when we celebrate birthdays in my classroom, we give a round of applause for the never-ending march of time that will one day catch up. And everyone sort of looks around and says, "What did he say?" But what do you think we're going to see from Daniel here? What do you think?
Probably G6.
It's a very uncomfortable G6.
I mean,
Oh,
he just goes back. Okay.
okay. So now we have to decide if the little man would like to take or castle, because Rook G8 is the spiciest of moves. And, Rook G6 is okay here, but I think it loses some of its punch compared to before. I think the queen can escape, and after something like this, we might be pretty even here. This is a fascinating line here, using the open file. It's very, I mean, very dangerous. So if we go back, after knight f6, queen takes g7, rook g8, as these are essentially forced if the queen takes. Only move, queen h6, Daniel's got two choices. Do I hit the pawn? Do I hit the queen? Which one of those choices do you think you would go for yourself, personally, poisonally?
I think I would probably just take straight away
This.
because, like you said, the queen already has an escape. I think the queen, since the rook cannot be booted from the G file,
Uh-huh.
we're blocking the queen's entry to.
Oh. I
Um,
hate to interrupt you, but all of our analysis is now useless because the queen's back on f3. And white has ceded his advantage.
all right, so saw the boogeyman a little bit.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow. But if we look at this position objectively, white is far more developed, and he had the initiative. A move like queen takes g7 while allowing rook g8 is survivable. Even though the g pawn would drop, I think it would actually be a benefit for white, because if you are the more developed player, you're going to start an attack. You're going to start an attack.
Would you castle here, or are you?
As black?
Yeah, I don't know if I would castle or delay it a move. I'm still a little bit concerned
Right.
because white has not castled. Um,
I wouldn't I wouldn't be too concerned. It's a matter of surviving.
we do
Whichever way
get
you castle,
castles.
you're going to have to survive.
Yeah, we
Um,
get castles.
wow, that's fascinating. See, I definitely would have castled queenside here,
And we
but
get
then again,
castles. Okay.
I'm a maniac. I mean, you saw some of the games I sent you, so like I definitely would castle queenside. Like I said, I bought my ticket, got my drink. I want to see fireworks. I want to see blood. I want to see teeth on the ground. Don't don't actually do that, but don't wreck Jason's living room. Um, but I want some action, man, and I suppose this is the safe route. Knight BD7 forced, and they're remarkably similar on similar in the time department. We've got an even position. It could go anywhere now. Pardon me while I grab more tea.
And just a reminder on the score, right? It's 1.5 Daniel, half a point to Tanish, and I think Tanish, a win here would be
Okay.
awesome and not up the match.
Pardon?
Um, I'm just kind of reminding everybody of the score, one
Ah,
and a half
yes.
to half, and so a win would be for all of us
Decisive.
viewers the best outcome. We would have a tied up match, and it would all come down to the last round or tie breaks. But a tie still keeps him in. So basically, any result other than a white loss right now keeps us all on the edge of our seats for another game.
Sounds good to me.
And we get Rook F D1.
Interesting. Very interesting. Personally speaking, I think I'd like my rooks here and there, but this works too. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Question is, how does white make progress? At the moment, he's improving his position, which is a note to take for aspiring young chess players. If you don't know what to do, don't make a bad move because you had to do something. Improve your position gradually, right? I think I would reroute that bishop from the light squares. Ideas of chucking the knight forward, clearing the way for space-taking moves in the future on the queen side. This bishop's kind of on desk duty, but if we ever get a hook to pull on here, maybe we see some glorious sacrificial play. Who knows? The ball is in Daniel's court. What do you think we might see here?
Um,
Ah.
okay.
So this,
I was wondering about that. The words did not come out of my
yeah,
mouth, but that's what I was kind of wondering.
the Alekhine freeing maneuver. It's the so-called Alekhine freeing maneuver, except we're not in Queen's Gambit, but I don't care. I make the rules. Yeah, so this knight's very active now.
I got some cats getting in the room here. 1 second.
Oh yeah? No, that's more the merrier, dude. My cats are locked up for crimes against humanity. So, what to do? Well, if takes, black has his choice, which file he wants. I would go with this for a safer game personally. But if we want the pawns to be even on this side, okay. Personally, I like my c file though, and I like to throw these pawns up the board, to create weaknesses with a minority attack. What else could happen? Well, we don't want to trade the bishop. That would not be good. We like our bishop. Bishops are good. Perhaps bishop d2, saving our delightful bishop pair. That would be very nice. Those moves are really the only moves I would be considering in this position here. A bishop retreat, maybe not all the way back, but bishop d2 or knight takes. Excellent.
And no bishop d3 because then knight b4.
Well, I think bishop d3 is fine, but it just allows this long-term weakness.
Right.
I mean, you could argue anything. Have you ever been to a Walmart? But you know, this open file, perhaps. I mean, maybe that's a plus, but the players don't want this. They don't want this. They know they don't want it. So I feel like we're going to see bishop d2. It's the most logical way forward in my most humble of opinions. And finding another delivery person. What the heck, Uber? Killing me, man. Interesting.
So we got bishop b3.
I wonder why. I think this is a strategic error.
So we talked about the bishop coming out to c4.
Sure.
And that we didn't like that diagonal from the beginning, and clearly wants that bishop on that diagonal for some reason. I'm not really understanding why.
I think I mean, maybe Tanish is banking on a strong center, but something like.
All right, Daniel took.
Oh, he did. Okay. Well, he's got to take back with the queen. We'll see if he wants to go the dubious route or the solid route.
Hmm.
So he is thinking about queen takes or pawn takes. I didn't think it would take that long, honestly, because we like our pawn structure, but perhaps he's thinking, well, center pawns. That's a understandable thought here, but this looks nice on paper, but black can chip away, and all of a sudden, black's pieces are coming to life. This king is very exposed. We see this lovely, queen side over here. I couldn't help but notice it might be a wonderful place for a king this time of year. Um, uh, However, understandable.
So yeah, that's interesting with the C file push too, because yeah, I
It's
don't
just a
know. It's
thematic.
just yeah, it's
You know,
all looking a little bit scary.
and see with c5, we can see this bishop perhaps come into the action, and you know, wow, okay,
Okay.
oh. So I think as Midland's Darling would say, the strategery here has George Bush, by the way, has flung into Black's benefit. Very long-term strategic weakness, beautiful Scandinavian pawn structure. This is Daniel's experience showing, and perhaps Tanish's desire to uh, bring him out of his element. I don't know. Could be anything, but we still have a lot of room for exciting chess, perhaps even some rook lifts. I don't know. I mean, it could be anything. But this guy's out of the game. He's not very active. Um, you could argue this knight's not active, but you know what? It's going to be active very soon. So,
So we don't have a dark squared bishop as white, and the dark squares around the king not looking too good, and
yeah.
that's why I'm liking the pawn pushes to kind of break open this center, because
Mm-hmm.
when this bishop comes, it's gonna be rough.
C5 is not possible at the moment. Excuse me. C5 is not possible at the moment because of B7, but in the near future, you can see Queen C7 preparing preparing the move. Now a move like E4, very tempting to remove this defender in the future, perhaps. Mm.
Yeah, I think that move almost helps white a little bit.
Knight F6.
Yeah.
I think E4 is very natural move to play, especially considering we got to get something going here. Another move that comes to mind, excuse me, Knight E4. Just kind of liquidating. Um, and once we get to this kind of position, we're very even. But this bishop's out of the game, unfortunately. And pawn play becomes electric at this point. Might see something like this, dropping back. At some point, we want to get out of our own way and push the pawn. But okay, good man. E4, man of principles. When you can play E4 twice in a game, Bobby Fischer, just love you. Mm. Now c5 is possible because queen's blocked from the b7 pawn. So we shall see. I'm sure Daniel, in his prep, um, is well aware of the pawn breaks in this position. c5, of course, striking back at the center. Although we do have to be a little careful here. Perhaps he's thinking about the x-ray on the queen right now. However, downside of taking with the f-pawn, forcing moves. I'm sure he sees that.
So, yeah, I mean, if I'm white, I'm just really, I'm not seeing, I don't really have any ideas for attack right now, you know?
Okay, very good, good move here. Kind of forces e5 though. I think that just has to happen. And the knight's got to go back to d7 or perhaps even d5. Oh, thank God they have my order. I'm starving. So if this, this makes sense, but now, we have this nice nook. There's tactics available in the future here, and we have a very interesting game. Where do you think Tanish will take this?
I mean, I don't see why he would not go for e5. It just continues his plan.
Position plays itself in this at this point. Not the whole game, but the plan of weakening the king side for a devastating assault. And now, talk about rook lifts, we could perhaps see rook on g3 in the near future. A real caveman bang down the doors style assault on the king side.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of rook f moving back when it did.
Yeah,
I was kind of, if it was me, would have maybe played rook a, but because now it just feels a little awkward. I feel like our king side is just nothing over there, and to get both rooks over there takes two moves now. So
yeah, that's just experience. I mean, once he gets that, he'll be 1800. I'm sure. He's already 1700, right?
it's fluctuating, but yeah,
That's
he'll be there in no
phenomenal.
time.
Kid's phenomenal. So impressive, and on the way up too. Very nice. Yeah, this rook really belonged kind of on f1, and I think if he could see, you know, if he could see not the future, but if he could see that continuation, he would have left it there. But it's not a deal breaker. We'll be all right. We're gonna get through this. I promise. However, after e5, this bishop really does look kind of silly. Oh wow, hyper prophylaxis from the young GM in the making, anticipating c5 and this. Well, that just makes me giddy. My chest senses are tingling.
Hmm.
We have a prediction in the chat. Draw. By the way, perhaps at some point, I know we're kind of strapped for room here, but we can make some room for the chat at some point.
Oh, right.
Perhaps in the future. Not now, though. Oh, let's see.
That's a good
Maybe even
idea.
have multiple scenes, switch between.
Mm-hmm.
These moves do take quite some time. I'm going to pick my food up in a moment here.
Yep.
Um, Rook 6 going dark.
All right, so we got a few ideas. We have our c5. We have, I suppose e5 is an idea too. So what if e5? If e5, definitely don't want to take and let the queen get centralized. So I think push. And now what? Okay, so on the board, now we have a6. That move was not on my radar. Huh. So I think this most certainly means Tanish is going to go for a5. It's really the only plan that's been kind of brewing. What else? Computer's recommending queen e2 is a move. I don't know why. That just seems silly. I don't see the plan there. I don't see Tanish doing that. e5 makes a lot of sense, though. So what was the idea here with a6? Not exactly sure. I mean, a6. I mean, preparing this, but why? Trying to dislodge this knight, maybe? So, if e5, I mean, knight back, and then we're just stuck. So that's not a move. Our only move, I mean, knight here too, we're pretty stuck. I mean, routing this way just, no. So essentially, knight d5 would be forced. And then from here, once again, I think the move is going to be knight e4. So the move chase that you missed was a6, which was not on my radar. I don't quite understand where he's going with that. The only thing I think of is maybe pushing b5 and then b4 and dislodging this knight, but I don't quite understand, and I'm just expecting Tanish to play this e5 move. Down to 23 minutes, Daniel at 28.
Do you think he was upset about knight
Oh,
b5?
whoa. Okay, so we got a move, which was not the pawn I was expecting.
Oh.
Oh, man.
I don't know about that one.
Okay. So just what is the move now?
I'll be right back.
So we could go C takes, we could go E takes. I think from a human perspective, I think taking through one of these routes is reasonable. If you leave it up to white, white obviously can't push. So if you're not taking, if we're deciding to not take and just ignore it and just play like, if we just play like bishop d6 or something, offering white a chance to go ahead and take, white will most certainly take this way, which leads to takes, takes, and loses a pawn. So I think black taking just makes a lot of sense.
I'm going to pig out on live camera, by the way.
Yeah,
In
go for it.
1080p. Haha. So this is an interesting development. First of all, A6, fascinating development. Grabbing control of a square that was controlled, but my thinking was, at least the psychology of it, he wants to play C5, but maybe he's concerned about that because after C5, the square's forfeit, but there's no continuation.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. I didn't look at it from that perspective, but yeah, I didn't.
E6, I mean, yeah, you really need C5. I mean, we've prepared it. We've specifically prepared it. All of our pieces are looking at it, and maybe this is just our Carol Khan brains crying for salvation. Um, it's got to happen.
But not now.
So,
Not now that right. Not now that
well, right, but
D5. But yeah,
before it
before.
had to
Yeah.
happen. I mean,
Right. You're saying instead of A6. Yeah. Yep. But now this. I mean,
this
I
is the simplest way forward.
I feel like too in the context of the match, right? Daniel playing very solid. You know, he's up a point and a half to half.
You can say what you mean. He's playing drawish. Nothing wrong with that.
playing very solid, and I mean he's got the black pieces. He's gonna finish the match with white, and so kind of asking Tanish to maybe overextend, which looks like maybe he has done. Maybe the plan has worked. Um, this pawn push just kind of opening things up, and
Yeah, it's certainly non-standard, um, non-standard play. But I think white. So white created a problem for the bishop, and I feel like now he's trying to solve it. Um, and at least now the bishop is semi-active, but black's getting these lovely files.
you're right. That's what this is about. It is about the bishop. Yeah.
Excuse me while I take a gigantic bite of this sandwich.
So, I mean, which way is Daniel going to take back? Or is he going to take back? I mean, we could just push. Taking's a move. Pushing is a move. Pushing is a very interesting idea. It creates a pass pawn. And in the short term, we'll be on a dark square. We got plenty of coverage for that. And maybe we just hang on to that pawn until the dust clears. But we're also, I mean, pushing gives white a pass pawn too, so it's not all fun and games, but with white's rooks shifted to the queen side, maybe controlling more squares on the king side with a pawn push. Oh, and he takes.
Oh.
On the board. And Tanish takes back with the knight.
And now it's a draw.
And now it's a draw. Yep. Which still favors Daniel with
yeah.
the match score. With the black pieces, probably happy to see all these trades. Black taking back. White trying to decide. I mean, you gotta just take with the bishop, right? Take with the queen, loses to tempo with the rook coming to the center. So we're expecting bishop takes. I suppose rook takes is a thing.
Interesting. He's going for activity at least.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm expecting
double right away, perhaps.
Daniel to bring a rook.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
just bring a rook over. Don't let. I mean, doubling up still isn't gonna claim the file anyhow. Right. So I guess it's not like a huge rush. You don't have to just bring it in right now. But if it was me, I would just probably play it safe. My rook on a8's not doing anything anyways. Just bring it over.
We're also approaching a opposite colored bishop in the game.
Yep.
Which just makes me so looking forward to the next game.
I mean, I think even still kind of in the latter stages of the opening phase, if I was white, I was kind of already looking at that opposite colored bishop deal and thinking, I just want to get out of this game. Like, it's just awkward, and I'm not really thinking about attacking. I'm just sort of thinking about getting out of here. Sure. And moving on, because I think Daniel won the opening phase, and this bishop on b3 has been terrible. And what to do now? So, I mean, I guess it's not 100% clear. c3 is like just the natural move. But you can go for some activity too. I mean, you could go, you know, rook. So, I mean, we've been dogging on this bishop the whole time, but could it actually come into play here? It is eyeing this pawn. We've got 1, 2. We can bring a third attacker in. But it's still just not enough as it stands. I mean,
position stabilized completely.
Yeah.
There are tactics. Get a rook to f1. You know, going after this piece, but Daniel can see with his eyes. So good luck.
What about a triple stack with the bishop? Can we get to that pawn in time? Is that a plan?
Explain.
So if we could just get this set up here, and if this bishop's not here, we've got 4 attackers on a pin pawn. I think at most, though, you're just winning a pawn. There's no crazy big attack. You're
That's just a
winning the
dead
pawn.
draw. It's already a dead draw. It
Yeah.
doubles, which is interesting.
Okay. With ideas of this.
Yeah, if takes, then white gets activity. And then it becomes less of a draw, but still a draw, in my opinion. I don't think Daniel will take.
And time is, we've had time pressure many a game in this match. I don't think time is going to be a huge factor in this one. I don't think we're going to come down to some weird tactical scramble and then get an end game mistake like we had. I think this is just going to stabilize, like you're saying, or it's already stabilized, right? Just kind of, I mean, if I was white, the way this game's been going, I might even offer a draw and just get out of here.
Yeah, go get a coffee and come back. Exactly right.
So we'll see. I mean,
I don't think white, excuse me, I don't think black will take.
no.
I don't think black will take on b2 and allow
Okay.
counterplay. Interesting.
Rook A over.
So that's just, it's just going, it just says, take all the pieces off the board, please.
Yep. And now I think it pretty much forces white to do that. You can sit on it, but it's just awkward, right? You don't really want that. You've got a back rank quasi issue because you've got the dark squared bishop that's covering that left square. And so I don't really want any of this. I don't want to let any of black's heavy pieces come down to the back rank.
That is exactly what I think in the middle of a chess game. I don't want any of this. What's going on?
Right? Yeah, I know. That's my problem. I'm always looking for all what can go wrong, seeing the boogeyman instead of just being aggressive like I can be. Over the board chess is tough. You have time to think, outthink yourself. And it's funny seeing these guys play.
Yeah.
And being on this side of it, the commentary side of it, I kind of can see myself, making these moves that maybe aren't the best, but you kind of overthink things, and it's kind of been a lesson. It's been a interesting lesson watching these guys go through all the pressure of this GGT stuff.
I realized recently the most relatable sport I've ever done to chess was cross country. Because it's just you.
Yep.
And your legs, the same equipment every time. Maybe the board changes colors. You run in some god awful desert, you run in some god awful hills or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's you and that thing between your ears. Hopefully, there's something there. A lot of people I've met I'm not so sure, but um, you've got to win the race against yourself first before you can even think of beating anybody else. And chess is the same thing.
It's an interesting point.
Requires a ton of um, mental concentration and sometimes the most the most emotionally intelligent, in tune with themselves people are god awful chess players because they're feeling everything. And you got that caveman over there, huh, rook take. It's like he's
Yeah.
just like, huh, I like the sound when the pieces take. It's like that dude's going places. 1800 overnight, no self doubt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, can you
speech over. Yeah.
the camera's been a little bit blurry on your end. Can you do a little off on deal? There you go.
How about
Nice.
now?
Perfect.
Great.
I got my cat Max joining in. Say hi, Max.
Dude, my cat is next to me too.
Um Cross country, yeah, I ran cross country in high school. All 4 years. Loved it. Oh, cute cat. Cross country, very tough sport.
Yeah.
Did you do that at all?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very tough. Very tough indeed.
Those hills will get you.
Hmm.
You know, they call it cross country for a reason. You're not just run around in a circle. You got terrain. All
What
right,
country is this? Nepal? My God.
we got rook takes. Interesting. Oh, okay, that was not what I was expecting.
I think it gives some options for some options in the future for sliding the rook over, but really there isn't much there. Um, there just isn't much there. Black can easily parry any tricks. I mean, you see him from a mile away, basically. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean, all roads lead to draw here, right? I mean,
kind of, yeah.
if I'm white, I'm kind of thinking I gotta slide my queen to d3 and double this d
Sure.
file here. And but then you're just because the black bishop's covering that d8 square, you're always gonna just it's always just gonna lead to these trade downs. And then I mean we might even see a draw offered here. I wouldn't be surprised.
To save some time this evening.
They're playing uh, for all of us as well here. They know that, but I think
Oh, it doesn't matter much.
no,
I'll stay up all night if I have to.
no, I'm just thinking that if they all night,
I will. I'll do it.
you know, I wonder if that's in their mind at all. Like, I don't want to offer a draw and just call it a day with all this DGT chatter. But I think they're both very much in tune with the position and realize that there's not much to be done. I mean, what can you do? I mean, it's just nothing. There's just not enough pieces to really manufacture an attack. We have a 3-on-2 on the queen side.
Yeah.
And a 2-on-3 on the king side. And I think the one thing white has going for it is the fact that its light squared bishop covers that a8's promotion square. And the 3-on-2 is further away from both of the kings. And the 3-on-2 on the king side is easily intercepted by the white king, which is closer to the action. The black bishop does not cover the h1 square. So I would say in a bishop and pawn opposite colored bishop endgame, advantage, believe it or not, white in my mind for those reasons.
I think it comes down to mistakes. Who's going to make a mistake? And the biggest mistake would be not, well, the first big mistake would be not offering a draw. The second big mistake would be not accepting the draw. Um, the third big mistake would be incorrect pawn play, where you lose the opposition um, and find yourself a pawn down and just straight up losing. That's the only way this is not going to end in a draw. If somebody just completely makes a game losing mistake.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like white has chances here. I don't know why, um, other than what I just said. But okay, so we're gonna get rook takes, queen takes probably, and then queen's coming to d5, forcing another trade. Because if you don't trade, you're gonna sit there and passively. Oh, you can just take that pawn too.
Yeah, I don't know about queen takes because of b7.
But then don't we have that problem of like if we went ahead and took, oh, the bishop's covering.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So okay, so let's trade off everything and just do a what if.
Okay.
We're down to opposite colored. Let me just try this real quick. So if takes, if we just had this happen, for instance,
Okay.
I was thinking advantage white here for this whole reason with the promotion square colors
Let's
and
talk
all
about
that
it.
stuff. But clearly, computer says it's a draw. I mean, I guess the king just has enough time to kind of get active. And over here,
To oblivion with the computer. What do you think would happen?
I mean,
It's got to save the pawn.
yeah, it's
So
so
b6.
yeah, either here or here. Yeah,
We got time. Let's go through it.
I mean, so my thinking is that, um, eventually, okay, so there's the details of saving the pawn, yada yada.
Okay.
Eventually, the white king has to come up to help out with this. We want to consolidate. We want to get our passed pawn out of this. Hopefully, the outside. But the problem that we have is, the king comes up, and if you just overextend and run the king to help out down here, you've got the 3-on-2 on this side, and then it's going to be a race. So it's not. I mean, if we had 3 pawns here, then it's, I would say, probably winning. But with the opposite color bishops, I don't know.
b6. You're saying like
my endgame theory is not sound enough to predict all of this stuff, but I know a GM would just draw this in his sleep, I'm sure, but with me, I don't know. I feel like white has some practical chances here. But I think once the black king gets over here though, then you kind of just run out of steam.
Right.
So it looks nice right now because the kings are just still in their nooks, but I think at the end of the day, the kings run up to center of the board, and then you just kind of consolidate, and it just, maybe just some shuffling back and forth.
Sure. Well, let's see what we got here. We've got queen to e4, which is very interesting.
I'm not really understanding.
Just not wanting to
trade.
To trade, I suppose. Maybe wanting, I mean, it sounds cheap, but wanting to load up this. I couldn't tell you though.
Oh, but if black does take here, I kind of like taking with the bishop, getting an attack, Oh, there's checkmate there too. Yeah,
Yep.
that works.
There is that.
As I was saying, if you I kind of like that because checkmate, but good times. So let's make some lift first, and then let's do a nothing move. What is a nothing move?
At this point, there are no nothing moves.
And then I'm saying take now.
Okay.
Here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was thinking bishop takes to get
Okay.
this pressure. Got to deal with that. While you're dealing with that, I check, but no, the queen can just come. No.
We have
Yeah,
a
check,
perpetual.
check, check. Yeah.
We have a perpetual threat here.
Okay. Yeah.
This structure is just made for perpetual check.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel, even if Tanish doesn't accept a draw, Daniel can make a draw in a heartbeat.
All right. Is time going to become a factor?
Almost 10 minutes. My goodness.
So, yeah, it's easy to get comfortable looking at the board from our perspective
Mm-hmm.
with the zeros and the engine just saying it's a draw.
However,
However, you can lose. You can lose this, as we just saw. I made a
and I
lazy
have.
I made a lazy rook takes and lost the game, right? Through my commentary there. So that's what they're thinking about. Their queens are still on the board. So there are things that can go wrong. I think if the queens and rooks get traded, these guys make a draw, you know.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
Go all the way back.
So maybe wanting to take with the rook, seeing well, just what we just saw, right? Just
Yeah.
checkmate, back rank issues.
Nice
Covering
little nook
that.
for the bishop, too.
Nice nook for the bishop.
Delayed fianchetto.
But yeah, chess is just a draw. So
Sometimes.
in this game, probably the most likely outcome. Although less so than like GMs, right? The GMs they're making draws in these scenarios, 99 times out of 100.
Uh-huh.
But I have this problem, and a lot of us amateurs have this problem of just trying to make something out of nothing and getting into trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And is that something we're going to see here? I don't know. I think there's still room to mess this up.
There's
And
always room to mess it up. Something I've
and
learned in my short time on this earth.
yeah,
Uh,
if Tanish messes this up, he will be getting a pie in the face, guaranteed, no matter what happens in game 4. And
yeah.
Jason has said that they're letting game 4 happen to kind of obviously you showed up to play chess. Let's just play chess. I'm
Yeah,
getting a pie
yeah.
in the face, and I'm gonna go all out in the last game and go out with some dignity.
Hey, man. Nothing says dignity like a pie to the face.
I told Jason I'm too sensitive. I just I if I lost a match of rated chess, just getting a pie in the face just sounds absolutely miserable.
I,
Um,
I like pie too much, man.
you like pie too
I'd be
much?
on the
Yeah.
ground just like, ah.
I would just be in tears. The pie would just be like I would just be crying, and then the pie would just get all wet. It just um yeah.
We have an
So, but
exchange.
these guys are so fun, and
Oh, yeah.
I think they're gonna have fun with it.
Jason asked me for a picture to make a meme out of me, one of those I don't know memes.
Uh huh.
But every picture I took, I looked more and more homeless each picture, and it was just like a worse angle every time. And I was like, I can't give this to this man.
Bishop
Oh, I just
takes.
looked like 10 years older in every photo I took. It's like, oh no.
Bishop took. Wow. I did not expect that.
Because he doesn't want to hang the B7 pawn.
I guess.
Of course, now
You and your good
queen
moves. Me trying to play all the bad moves. Yeah, it
queen
just
E8
yeah.
check.
Yeah, I mean
This is an interesting.
I mean yeah, and yet it's still a draw.
Of course, it's a draw. Look,
Yep.
come on, get out of here, man. Okay, where did we go wrong here?
Yeah,
B6.
that's
This was
my
the.
that's my game losing rook take. Yeah.
That's okay. I accept you despite your very many, many, numerous flaws. Everyone deserves a fair shake. My cat is so cute right now. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna send you this picture. This is just too precious. Okay, so he goes after the pawn.
Hmm.
Fascinating. Logical, I suppose. B6 just kind of locks it up.
Or B5.
Suppose.
But you want to be on dark squares.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's much of a difference. Oops.
Your move has been played.
Oh, really?
B6.
Only I had this much luck with lottery tickets. I mean, it's a draw.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Tis a draw. I hath declared. Well, actually, Jim Hollingsworth declared it a long time ago. So long ago. And I think he's correct. Of course, at the time, he was being funny and it was e4, d5. Uh, but oh well.
All
All
right,
good.
we've got C4.
C4. Goodness gracious. C4. What do you think about that?
I'm not sure. I think it's creating a weakness maybe a little bit. Um
I agree. It's that pressure where you kind of have to do something.
yeah, you're in Zugzwang and instead of just shuffling back and forth, you're pushing the pawns when the pawns were fine where they were.
I suppose he could be thinking get them off the dark squares, but
Yeah, I mean, he wants to create the connect four with the b3 and everything's on a light square and but
then
then
we can
the
actually push
yeah,
b5 and
yeah. And then your
break it
a2
up.
and then a2 is a target a little bit.
create isolated pawns. I wonder if black will pick up on that. Somewhat forcing move here, just attacking the pawn. B3. I mean, at this point, you can hide from the checks. The checks on the checkboard, not the checks in Czechia, but that must be so annoying playing in Czechia. Like check, check, check. Yeah, he's a check, she's a check, they're checks. Big deal. We're surrounded by checks.
How do you say check? How do you say check and check is the question.
Dude, my cat just opened his eyes. Like, why are you so loud? Oh my god, he's so cute. I mean, at this point, where do you go with this, man? I mean, where do you go?
They are determined to get into time trouble.
Yeah, and time trouble means
Perpetual.
Thanks. This cat is laying right on my mouse so that I can't use it. It's like he knows.
All right, so Daniel thinking.
Not easy to find a way forward here.
What is that draw move if he wants to kind of speed this along and just say,
oh, at this point?
Let's go for a draw. Yeah, I think. Okay, he moves the king over.
Oh,
wait, we got a few moves. What happened?
I think you have your answer there. That was pretty funny. The speed at which that happened here. Does that answer your question there, Matthew?
Yep. And so this is what I was saying before, right? We just you trade
We'll
everything.
See it, man. We'll
yeah,
see if,
yeah,
the end game chops.
The black king's gonna get in there and just nothing to do.
We'll see, man.
But we have seen in rounds 1 and 2 Daniel outplaying Tanish in the end game.
Experience.
And this is pretty simple, I think.
Fairly.
So likely still a draw. But I don't know if that pie is sitting on the table next to him, but could be entering his mind that a pie in the face is coming. And we get a5. Wow, I just was not expecting that. Oy.
You got to take.
Do you?
I think so. You got to, I mean, well.
Okay, so you don't want.
There's no way forward. That's like a.
I mean, so if you did like c5, what happens?
C5?
What happens to c5?
Let's see. Okay. Takes. And like I said, you got to take because this will be fixed on a light square.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's no way to make progress.
I mean,
And this is where really the opposite color bishops, because you can't yeah, you can't force anything, right? You're
This
just
works as well. As long as you're not stuck on the other color, you're fine.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we got takes, so we're gonna get takes on b4, and we do. And then bishop attacks. Interesting. That forces that. And now it's definitely a draw. %. Bring in the king. Tanish, or Daniel, bring in the king. Bring in the king.
Oops. My bad.
What's happening? Okay.
I made a mistake. Sorry. There, we're back.
So, yeah, I mean, they're probably even, they might even just discuss a draw right now. Nothing to do. So black can push the F pawn. Black can do one of these moves. Nope, no, F5 doesn't work. What am I doing? Okay, king goes up. Okay. But all roads lead to draw.
Unless mistake.
Unless mistake. Okay, white pawn's fixed. Okay, so basically everything on the queen side is fixed. Now it's all about the king side. And
Oops. Yeah. It's a matter of not letting the other king in. That's it.
and I've messed this up before. I'm sure more than once.
Possible. Daniel keeping control of these light squares.
The dark squares, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Opposite day.
Yeah, it's a nice move.
Makes sense to me. I mean, all roads lead to Rome. Sweet kitty.
Hmm. Yeah, this is just, I'm trying to conjure up something for white to sneak through on the queen side, but no.
Pocket sand.
All right, push, push.
Even G5 check is fine.
I was gonna say, is it?
So this at the end of that line.
Oh yeah.
King is pushed off of it.
Interesting. Now Daniel just shuffling the bishop back, shuffling, and they're just gonna repeat, I think. Let's see.
Repete.
Clocks have stopped, I think. No.
Yeah, that means draw.
Yep. Okay.
Let's go back and talk about. Do they start immediately?
Um, I would imagine within minutes, but
Okay, let's talk about this position position a bit. Excuse me, because There were some interesting decisions.
All right, I'm just gonna update the scene real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. There were some interesting decisions made strategically, namely the placement of the bishop on c4 instead of d3. Kind of made a big difference in how the game developed. The decision, well, knight h4, excuse me, knight h5, and kingside castles by both sides. I really think queenside we would have seen some action here. It was like g4, pushing the pawns up, creating some devastating attacks. Would have been fun to see. But what else? Placement of the rooks. We talked about that. The decision to take with the f pawn was fascinating, but it makes sense considering the two center pawns you're left with. It makes sense to me. I can understand. And d5 versus e5. We really got to play e5. We're going to dislodge this knight and open this king up for for an attack. And white really has all his pieces on the queen side and not quite enough on the king side in order to pose an effective attack here. So it would have been interesting to see this kind of position here. Something like this, and you know, position like this would have sort of ended the same way, I think, in a draw. But let's go back.
But I think right. Okay, back up. Let's see. Yeah, so you just went over the e5 push, right?
Oh,
Yeah, you just went over this. Like yeah, that potentially. And then here we had looked at knight e4 instead of taking, which was
true.
kind of interesting.
True.
Cuz then
Now all of a sudden
yeah, I
we're
think that was maybe
mobilizing.
the right plan. But the bishop all along just not in a good spot and never
Maybe
really.
even just trade it off here.
Hmm. I didn't think of that, but yeah.
I mean,
You got the connect four.
c5 comes. The c5 really needed to happen in every subsequent reality. C5 needed to happen to break up in the center. So moves like e5, very strong for the attacking side. Kind of a must. We're gonna attack this king side.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I have 9 players in my tournament. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, it's Tuesday night. You're
Yeah, I haven't had as many people. By the way, Tuesday nights we play in my chess.com club. Play 10-5 and 4 or 5 rounds. You should play.
yeah, it's a good tournament.
It's good. It's good fun. Good people. Let's see. No round 5 yet.
So yeah, tournament chess in general is more difficult. I find it even online. I've noticed myself. I've played in your Tuesday night tournament
Yeah.
here and there, and just tightening up, you know, taking too long to think, getting low on time, all these things that I do in tournament play, even apparently online. I thought it was just an over the board thing, but when I started doing that, I realized, yeah, I just tournaments. I just put all this pressure on myself for what? I don't understand. It's a human, some kind of flaw that I have. It's like some kind of,
Well,
it's weird, like pressure on myself for the result for a tournament. It's like when I'm playing just random games, online or whatever. It's like, oh, I'll get the next one. It's okay, But then tournaments, there's something like, well, there's no resetting the tournament. You lose a game or two, and your tournament's kind of kaput.
feels like
Whereas,
something's on the line, right?
right, yeah, and it just leads to time pressure, mistakes, all that stuff. So it's really an art form getting to learn how to play tournament chess and over the board chess. It's
For
really
sure.
chess
I
is
agree.
tough. Chess is tough and much more difficult over the board. I think we have a round five. Looks like.
I'm looking. I don't see any
Okay,
pieces yet.
they at least have the it's stubbed out.
Tell you what, I'll save this PGN.
Yeah, do that.
Okay,
D4
got
from
it.
Daniel
Of course. Starts with D. It's got to be D4. Daniel. D for Daniel.
and D5.
Oh my gosh. We're going to have another Queen's Gambit, I think.
Hmm.
So what's the score, the match score now?
It's Daniel 2, Tanish 1.
Ah, so we need a decisive result here. And Daniel, oh, ho, 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 oh, ho, 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 aha, oh, ho, 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 the Catalan.
Hmm.
Very nice. Pulling out the big guns. Bishop G2. Stop thinking. You got this.
Very interesting.
Oh, no, move order. Okay. That's fine too. The moves kind of play themselves here. It's hard to get in trouble unless you play something truly god awful like H4. Daniel's just deciding which way he'd like to go with it, and yeah, standard. This is hundreds of tournament games at the GM level. Excuse me, at the master level at least. 64% win rate by White this opening.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And this particular configuration, that is. And Daniel's just on autopilot, controlling that E4 square.
Very interesting.
Very strategic play here.
So Daniel just playing really well in the openings.
He knows his Catalan. Not much to do here for Black other than Rook E8 or Queen E7, Queen C7 moves like this. Maybe not C7, maybe E7. But yeah, standard standard stuff here. Daniel's in the driver's seat. B3 preparing to feed Keto that bishop. Great deal of protection on C4. great deal of protection nearly everywhere.
So what to do is black. I think maybe just challenging the center right away is a thing.
Yeah, you really have to open this position if you're going to have any sort of hope for the future. E5's got to happen to make that C8 bishop shine eventually. E5, E5's got to happen. Either E5 or you have to prepare E5, Queen E7. I think it's perfectly prepared, personally. After E5, you don't actually have to take on E5. You can take on C5 if you'd like. And there's further complications, but we could see a position, like this. But we'll see.
Yeah, I remember a lot of Catalan being played by Magnus against Jan
Yeah,
a couple years ago, and he gave Jan some headaches, that's for sure.
surprised we didn't see a knight on E5. It's fairly thematic in this opening.
Hmm.
Wouldn't really work now, but let me see where. Maybe I'm thinking of the more open Catalan.
Opening's definitely a weakness of mine in my early chess career here, just trying to for a while they're just trying to get my bearings with the game, and now I think I'm entering a phase where I gotta put in some work and learn my lines so I'm not sitting there fretting over the board every game trying to, figure out my plan and all that. If I
I
could
think
just
you
get to a
gotta at least like study the ones you might come across, but not everything under the sun.
yeah, yeah.
You can imagine in my line of work, I see a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like one of those people that can say hello in 50 different languages, but I certainly don't speak 50 languages. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
don't ask me for my doctoral thesis in Serbian. Not going to happen.
Okay, we have a
Queen
move.
E7 or Queen C7, fine. I mean, that's fine. Logical. Maybe he's thinking of pushing the C pawn instead. We'll see. Wait, what just happened? Did you see
We
that?
just go back.
Maybe he touched the knight.
No, it's still
There
there.
we are.
Okay. So I think white, you just made room for your bishop. I don't think. Okay, so the idea is maybe. No, I think, yeah, I don't think there's anything stopping to just move forward with the plan, fiend kettling the bishop now. I'm not
Fair.
seeing.
E4 is a beautiful idea as well. Crack this game open. If E4, knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. We've opened our bishop up. We have all this space.
Yeah, this looks great for white.
This is beautiful. So if you go with the less taking line, the less liquidating line with the knight, you really have to. I mean, you have to do something, otherwise E5's coming. And how do you stop E5? You play E5. And
Yeah.
now we've got a Tarash that's moved over a block or two.
And we've got a pawn convention in the center of the board.
Right, right. Oh, hello, nice to see you. Oh, hello, nice to see you. Oh, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah. So that could be interesting. But I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, predictions in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and say white. Just by the choice of opening alone, I think he's very good at the Catalan. I've been studying all those old Lasker Capablanca games. I thought we were going to get a Queen's Gambit declined. Orthodox, starting with all that symmetry and everything. That's what I saw, but I was delighted to see G3, something dynamic against this Slav setup, semi-Slav setup. Pretty good. And there are 5 games that have been played in this position. Let's see if I recognize anybody. I don't. Solomon Floor, perhaps. Okay, Floor, yeah. Let's see. 1939.
All right, so we've got a move. We've got B6. Black wanting to fianchetto.
Logical.
And take some of the pressure off of the eventual opening up of the dangerous fianchetto bishop.
This is still theory, believe it or not.
Is it?
It is. That's Solomon Floor game, 1939. Solomon with the white pieces won the game. We'll see how far we go into that game. And he was one of the first grandmasters, 1950 awarded grandmaster. E4, beautiful.
Nice.
And
okay.
Takes. There's one game in the system here. Let's see here. Oh, my bad, dude. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Daniel takes. Good. And takes. And
let me guess.
Takes. And didn't you say that we were going to end up here? I think you said that.
I did. Minus B6. But yeah, that's pretty funny. Knight F6 is pretty logical.
Okay.
2 games played in this situation here.
So what's the idea then?
What's whose
Um,
idea?
for white, where do we put the queen? Um,
Queen belongs on c2, I think. Yeah, there you go.
okay.
It's just thematic in the position and everything. We're going to see this. This is going to become very relevant. There's going to be tactics aplenty coming up here. Logan Schaefer demolished me in a game like this where I chose a semi-Slav setup, or was it a Queen's Indian setup? Either way, it was bad. I got roasted.
Hmm. I don't think I've
Still
ever.
following 2 established games here. Moves that have been played before: Rook f to e1, c5. c5 is interesting.
Huh.
It creates quite an imbalance in the position. That dinner was phenomenal.
Oh, good.
Beef and lamb euro. In fact, c5, top move by the engine here.
That's really interesting. It looks kind of messy.
It does, but if this is allowed to happen, this is a significant weakness. We still have our,
Yeah.
you know, plus this guy's open.
Right. Yep.
It's,
I see now. Hmm.
but we're gonna go back.
So Daniel slides the rook over.
Rook f to
Logical.
e1.
That also a move.
Yeah, it is.
And again, context. Tanish is with the black pieces, needs to win.
Yeah.
Is he going to overextend? Is he going to try to win?
We
I mean,
see.
he's
I
such a
mean,
mature kid. I don't think he's going to. I think he's still just going to play the board. That's my prediction. I think he's going to try to equalize and not just throw this game just because of the pie.
there's a very reserved setup here by Tanish, and I mean, there's no piece past the sixth rank. So very much a wait and see approach. I'm gonna build up my position, and rook rook to d8, rook a to d8, excellent. c5 still possible though. I wonder if we'll see that. Maybe see. I would think you would only find that move if you had been in the situation before, or if you'd seen that particular game, because it looks like it just wrecks everything. So I would understand if he doesn't see it. But very good game so far. I'm gonna pop off for a minute or two. I'll be right back.
Okay. So Jason just sent me a text saying that if Tanish wins, it'll be tied like we've been talking about. And they would play an Armageddon Blitz game. And that would be really kind of cool to cover an Armageddon game. I don't think I've ever covered one of those before. I've covered only 4 games. I think this is maybe my fourth game, a whopping fourth game as a amateur commentator. But an Armageddon game would be kind of cool. So we'll see if we get that. But I am not seeing a win from black here. It just white's got a very nice position, really nice pawn structure. what to do now. C5 still a move. And knight g5 also a move with the idea to reroute. So we'll see what we get from Daniel. C5, knight g5, or the very natural rook a to d1. If it was me, I would probably choose rook a to d1. If I go with this idea first, black is first to this open file with the rook. It's nothing catastrophic. It just feels a little rough. And we do have it on the board. Rook a d1. Not the top engine move, but it's a move. I think it was third on the list. Top move was this c5 push. And then tied were these two. So, very logical. We're opposing the rook on the other side of the board, and Tanish quickly moving bishop back, which I'm not quite sure I understand. What's the idea? Simply I guess providing more support in case of an eventual push. Bishop was blocking, right? The rook. But that's all I can see here, because now bishop is behind this knight. I thought the bishop was kind of fine where it was. So how does Daniel exploit that? I guess he didn't want to have a tempo as well. He wanted to maybe, he was anticipating this c5 push. Didn't want it to hit the bishop and force something. Either one of those. Maybe wanted to have the c5 push come and not be forced to deal with it. Could see that. But now what else if not c5? There's still this idea of the knight. Rerouting. It's kind of not doing a whole lot here. There's the c5 push. And there's also kind of bringing the queen into the fold. I suspect c5 not going to be played. I think, practically speaking, leaving this pawn behind feels bad. If we go c5, Tanish's previous move of bishop back, I think, is saying, I don't want to deal with that. You can take, and I'll maybe take back this way. And if that's the case, you're left with the isolated pawn. So computer says c5 is a move. I don't think we'll see it though. Of course, if c5, black not inclined to take and will not take. Highly doubt it. Okay, so we get knight jumping to e5. Which I think is logical. However, I'm not sure what the target is. So we've opened up the line here for the bishop. We have two attackers on c6. But not much else we can do. Maybe just kind of a waiting move. I don't know. And we can do this, right? We can take the sting out of this bishop if we want now. I think that makes a lot of sense. So what happens if we push? Maybe d takes. And takes. Brings in our bishop. These guys just having a staring contest. Our queen on black's queen just tied, guarding that bishop. Very open position. I think we could see this. But let's go back. Will Tanish see this push? If not, what else to do? If you don't like this knight here, how do we get rid of it? I think knight back. d7 is an option.
Looks like we've got some developments, huh?
If you don't like this knight. Yeah, so not a top move. We had this knight jump into the center.
That's thematic. I understand why he played it.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to figure it out. I think
there's some moves we play because we know it's a thematic move.
Oh, we got it. This is the move that I was thinking Tanish might play.
Oh, c5 by black?
c5, which
opens the bishops.
Opens the bishops, takes the sting out of the light squared bishop, and he says, "Okay, I'm okay with your knight there," which is very nice by him, I think, to recognize that the knight's here, it's in the center of the board, but it's not really threatening anything, so I can just leave it there.
Right.
And will white take the bishop? I don't think he will. I think he will have to deal with this pawn first.
This is going to be hilarious, but we're still 18 moves into a game that's already been played.
Wow.
By a 2400 and a 2300.
Yeah. Well, they're playing good chess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's the
Oh, takes.
yeah.
Yeah. Are we still in book or quote unquote book? Yeah. That's what happened in the game. Okay.
We are. Uh,
Well, now what?
Darshan Kumaran. Let's see.
Now we have to see D takes, I think. Pushing just seems too weakening to me.
So get this. The guy who played this game
Hmm.
is a neuroscientist.
Nice.
He's retired from chess
Okay.
and he's working at Google DeepMind.
Awesome.
So
Well, we've got D takes. And Bishop takes back. Looks pretty good.
I agree. You're gonna hate me, but this is still cheers.
Are we still in book? Wow.
Must be a good game. Uh, I got this wet hop IPA, non-alcoholic, in the mail, and it is divine.
Really?
And I am delighted that I can taste it, which means I don't have COVID. Allegedly. Okay,
Nice.
Bishop takes.
Okay.
20 moves into this game. Queen E2 was the next move. You think we'll see it?
Queen what?
Queen to E2.
Um, doubt it. But I mean, if you want to bring the king or queen into the fold, it's really the only move, right? It can't go anywhere else if you want to bring it into the game. You could bring it down to C1, but that's just silly. I don't.
Queen E4 is fascinating if you want to lose.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're awake, right?
Yeah, yeah. um,
Notice this knight's stuck now.
yeah, yeah. That's I guess one drawback to the whole bringing it in the center of the board thing. Even though it's principled and all that, it just the timing of bringing it there wasn't great.
It may not be principled, but it is thematic in the opening.
Is it okay?
Yeah, the whole thing has to do with the
Right,
bishop seeing the long diagonal.
right. Yeah, the computer was
He played
suggesting
my move.
this way instead. Okay,
What do you know?
nice.
Um, where'd we go? Where'd we go wrong here? Promote. There we go.
Okay.
Just going after the bishop pair. Now we're out of the game.
Okay. Yeah, great job, guys, for
Uh,
playing solid 2300 chess for 20 moves.
yep. Logical.
And bishop back. Okay.
Oh wait, we're here. Promote. Bishop back.
Not wanting to give up the bishop pair.
Yeah, not against Daniel. Well, the bishop singular.
And now we're
Yeah.
back to all pieces.
He already gave up the bishop pair, but it's okay.
Yeah. Not
Yeah,
wanting to give up
the last bishop,
the last bishop, yeah.
the last of the two brothers.
But I know what we're not going to get this game. We are
Well,
not going to get opposite colored bishop in game.
oh,
Not happening.
really?
Unless unless one guy trades off his dark squared bishop and promotes to a light squared bishop, then we can get to an opposite colored bishop game.
Have you ever seen that Sherlock Holmes book of chess?
No, I have not.
That reminds me of something that would be in that book. So it gives you a situation and it asks you how we got there.
Okay.
So you do it backwards, and
Right.
it's silly stuff like that. It's every
Right.
chess player should own it. It's excellent.
Nice. I'll
I know what
check
I'm
it
getting
out.
you for your birthday.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
coming up. Coming up. And actually, I am playing, unless he drops out, I will be playing Daniel this weekend.
Yeah.
And so I will be studying these games very thoroughly, and Daniel will not play these openings again. So I will be likely wasting my time.
I'll help
But
you. I'll help you prepare.
yeah, my second here,
Got some
everybody.
time.
If you ever want to get some dirt on me, just give Chase a couple bucks and maybe he'll
That's an
spill.
ethically unacceptable thing for me to do.
Yeah, yeah,
Believe it or not, since most of my students play each other, yeah, no, I can't do that.
yeah. I don't think you would.
Conflict of interest comes to mind, but
Mm-hmm.
uh,
But yeah, so
Rook C8.
I don't know about that. What is
I don't know
that?
about that either.
Idea
I've heard
of
of.
B5? Just
Perhaps he's perhaps he's guarding against C5, but I don't think it was really.
if he wants to push B5, that could maybe be an idea.
Yeah, using the pin,
But why would you want to push B5 anyways?
just using the pin. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole tactic. Um, now
But yeah, I mean, but you
Queen
side.
E2 looks nice.
Right, right, yeah, yeah.
Queen E2 also lets the knight retreat. Oh, and by the way, a while back, Bishop E7, the first time was to guard against Bishop takes F6 in the long,
Okay.
long ago, because there were ideas of pushing this pawn and then
I
just
thought it was
just my thought.
to add a defender to the D5 square because the rook was there.
Twofold
But that
makes sense
and what you're saying, yeah. I didn't see the bishop takes knight idea.
because G takes would have just been a disaster,
Yeah.
um, positionally disastrous.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this pawn already. I mean, if you want to get fun with some rook over and this kind of stuff, just with this pawn structure, just doesn't
With
make
this
any sense.
bishop, not in
Oh,
this life.
yeah, with
Not in
that
this
too.
life. Well, I guess after it
Well,
takes,
it takes, yeah, it'll be gone.
but
Yeah, but if you promote a pawn to a dark square bishop, then
gotta cover the tracks.
all right. So
Oh,
what's he thinking about? I think Queen E2 makes sense. If you want to bring the queen is not doing a whole lot now. It's served its purpose. Now, let's bring it in. That's the move
he's
I like right now.
probably thinking about what I think when I play chess, which is anything but what I need to think about, um, or what I'm gonna have for dinner, but got to think about the chess, right?
Yeah.
That's what my mind
Uh,
goes to every time
what about this rook lift stuff? Doubling up. What about that?
on the D file or the
Yeah.
E file.
How about the D file?
Um,
I guess
yeah,
we run into the same thing that happened last game. Liquidating everything because his bishop's covering the D8 square, and if we all just double up, we can all just trade again. and go to another draw. And Tanish just, I mean,
Gets him high to the face.
yeah, I mean, he just,
There
but
should have been a stipulation that you have to win by a certain amount of points.
right, yeah,
You can't win with a draw or something like that.
can't win with a draw.
Oh man.
So I think I'm almost certain we're gonna get a queen move.
Really taking his time though. He's down 7 minutes on Tanish,
Huh. Yeah.
which is very tough.
What could he be worried about, thinking about right now? There's no real immediate threats except
So
for
it
the
could be.
b5 thing if you don't get the queen out of the way. If you don't get the queen out of the way, you're most certainly gonna face b5 because I think
Yeah.
that's just the whole idea, right? So
So I see little ghosts appearing with a rook on c2 and a bishop on c5. But that's like 8 moves from now.
yeah,
In the immediate, goodness, I mean, I couldn't tell you. This move, okay,
whoa,
very interesting. I wonder if, I guess he was concerned about bishop to b4, but if he wanted the bishop on b4, he could have put it there in the first place, I think.
okay. Well, he's unpinned his pawn in case of b5 he can take, but then you're pinning your bishop and inviting the knight into e. No, does it really invite it? No, it doesn't. I think that's still no.
I think you still have to get out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
If you don't, it's still okay apparently, but
it's fine, but it's uncomfortable.
yeah, yeah.
Knight can evacuate now.
Okay, that's the saving move, yeah. But yeah, I'm not quite.
Ugh.
Daniel's still looking fine here, though. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he is
fine as dandelion wine.
sitting
As
pretty on two out of three, just
yeah, man.
ready to throw that pie in. We
Have
do get
b5.
b5 anyways. Okay,
He's
this is what he wanted. Daniel, is he thinking about taking or not?
probably going over it. Going over the.
Because if you don't take, you're almost certainly recapturing with your pawn. No, 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 no. We have our knight there. What am I saying? We're fine. There's no pressure to take. Yeah, just move. That's fine. Yep. So, so queen over now.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. There we have it.
Okay, he does it. Nice.
Good man. Oh,
All right. So takes probably coming.
I would expect so. I mean, nothing else really makes all that much sense, in my opinion.
I'm just looking at some of this engine chatter, and it is it is saying if takes,
Mm-hmm. B takes.
it likes takes this way to create the passed pawn. That is fascinating.
I suppose. Um,
I don't think in a million years we're gonna see that.
that's
I would not do that. Um,
no human would. That's for 1/10 of an or 1/20th of an advantage, 1/20th of a pawn advantage according to Computron here. Yeah, that would be something. Be a
one
cold day in Texas.
1/5 upon. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, not happening. Just thought that was interesting. The computer sees some wild.
I'm
Okay.
on depth 30, and it gave me 0.03 advantage. I'm like, oh, we're, we're
Yeah.
going, boys. Strap in.
Yeah, my depth is not high enough. I'm also using Torch. I don't know if you've heard of that new.
Heard of Torch, yeah.
Yeah. So there's Stockfish, there's Leela, there's now Torch, which is the chess.com.
What am I using? Stockfish 16. That's what I'm using.
So yeah, Gotham Chess, Levy Rosman posted some interesting videos of Torch games and beating Stockfish and all that stuff. So
Oh,
pretty interesting. Those computers, they play the wildest things sometimes. Okay, so
true.
we're threatening, not at the moment because our bishop is hanging, but eventually the d6 square is nice,
It is a
but
nice square.
it basically is going to force a trade, right? If you go here, you got to go here, but not right now because of this. So for black, it's black's move.
True.
What do we want to do? I
Simple.
think, yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Never mind.
And that's not what happens.
Oh, it's okay. Oh.
Wait. What happened?
What's this funny business? Wait a second.
Okay, knight capture.
Get that guy on the phone. Get Howell on the phone. Call the sheriff. Call the marshal. Call the employees at Marshall's.
So we've got Tanish on the clock still, according to the latest. I wonder what that was. Just a shout out to, and we're back. Just a shout out to all the viewers out there. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
I think this is.
Well, you can say hi to two of them right now if you'd like.
Well, hey, I think we're at 4 times the amount of viewership that we had last week during the World Series. Oh, there we are. Hi. Hello.
Dreamception.
Yeah, one of those picture in picture in picture in picture. All right, so we get knight to d5, which frees up the bishop from guarding against this funny business that we were talking about of bishop captures knight ruining structure. But we're also allowing some mating threats. We got to get our bishop out of the way.
Just move back.
Just move it back, right?
Just move back.
Yep. Back to b2. Or A1.
A1 would be something.
Is there advantage to going to A1 with it? I don't think so.
Probably not. I think it's just about the same. Just looks funny.
Yeah, its only advantage is that the rooks are covering it.
It's aesthetically pleasing.
The rooks are covering it, but late in the game, you are vulnerable to some back rank. If your back rank's empty, having your bishop on the back rank like that.
I just realized there should be a Jason Howell meme of Daniel says, "I've got a secret weapon," and he's just holding a pencil. Draw.
Draw. Nice. That's a good one.
So tell us about your preparation. He just holds up the pencil. Because I've been studying my idol, Anish Giri.
Yeah, everyone gives Anisha a hard time, right? Or
Well, he
Anish.
got like 20 draws in a row one time.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't following chess, I think, when that happened. When was that?
I think it was before or during the pandemic
Was it? Okay.
when it started. Yeah.
Which he has an outside chance to get into the candidates.
Yes, he does, but I don't see it going past that.
No, it's him, Wesley, and Ali Reza basically
I'd like to
are.
see Ali Reza just because it's Ali Reza.
Yeah, he's the most interesting player. If you see what Wesley has just been so dry. I think he has the most potential, obviously, of those three.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything too crazy to say. I think Ali Reza. It's strange though how he's. I'm not sure how much he's playing these days.
Ali Reza?
Yeah, I mean he played in the Grand Swiss, but I don't know how seriously he's taking chess because there's all that talk of him in fashion school and all that stuff.
I suppose you're right.
Gucci Reza is what Hikaru calls him. All right, so we got a move. And it's
Geez.
the bishop the other way. So it's,
Fascinating. That's backwards progress, in my opinion.
but we're
I like the
dominating the
idea.
knight. The only
What's
thing I
the
can think
idea?
of is dominating the knight. But the knight could still go to b4 because the queen is covering. And the bishop's covering.
So you think he was afraid of this? Because this is fine.
Yeah.
We need moves like this. You have to find this, otherwise there's G6, but
Yeah.
now look at
And
this savage move.
boom. That
What
is a
the?
good move.
Yeah,
Um,
you hit the nail on the head earlier. So there's this diagonal's got to be open to allow for nonsense like this.
yeah.
This is just a beautiful move because you just can't take.
Yeah.
You just can't.
You
What do you
can
think
if
the
you.
saving move here is? F5. No, it's not. Sorry, E5. It's F5.
Ah,
Wacky.
very nice. Very, very nice.
Beautiful. Hard to find. But Bishop D2. These and other lines that will never be played because we're human.
So now,
I think that actually would. You could probably find that move. I mean, you could find that series because you went over that weakness pretty well. The D6 square. Anyways, continue.
I'm just trying to think what now. It's pretty. I don't know. It's kind of getting drier and drier by the move.
Uh-huh.
And Daniel must
Yeah.
be happy about that because he doesn't need to be pressing and he has the white pieces.
Just got to
And
keep his position together.
Tanish going queen a6, hitting the pawn on a2.
Yep.
And Daniel might be moving the bishop yet again.
Or offering a trade.
A trade of queens?
If this, then we get this kind of a thing. I don't think this can be taken, or I don't think.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
We get something like this. Infiltration here, but that's it's a big if. Don't know if he's going to find that. Yeah.
so bishop back is not a move.
Bishop c3 doesn't work, of course. Bishop c1.
C1 does not work because you get knight jumping in, forking. You lose.
Yeah.
So eek. I don't know what to do now. That's a good move by Tanish.
Yeah.
There's the really annoying just rook all the way over, right? Rook a1.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's decisive. So if Daniel's not careful here, he could fall into this. So if you don't want to, if you move the knight, the only other place is e5 or e3. That we all know this don't work, so not even going to talk about that. But if he goes to e5, and we have a trade here, this is rather juicy. But if knight e3, and we trade, doesn't do the same thing because of the knight, and if knight takes, bishop takes, this is impossible.
Yep.
So that's very nice.
But it's definitely tricky.
Yeah, you have to find a way forward is the thing. Finding the way forward is the hard part. Daniel's down nearly 10 minutes.
Eek.
I think we'll see a blitz tiebreak.
Whew.
Zing.
I don't know. I mean, time is, yeah, I guess could be a problem.
Ring a ding ding, baby. That's all I got to say.
I thought Daniel had this game. But now with this queen threat,
Yeah.
it is looking very tricky.
Tricky, not impossible, just tricky. Tricky wicky one. And unfortunately, now is the time we make mistakes. Us and our fallible human minds stuck in these fleshy bodies, we make mistakes. Under pressure. Pushing down on me, pushing down on you. No man ask for.
All right, so still thinking.
Yeah, man. I
Um,
mean, I'd be thinking too. Because the hard part about, finding a move here, obviously the pawn's hanging, c3 is weak, so you got to scratch the bishop off immediately. And so you can't move the bishop, so then you got to think, do I just move my rook to a1? And then you think, okay, is there any counterplay? Do I move my rook? Do I move my queen? What do I do? Yeah, rook a1. Takes is impossible. Queen c2. Takes, okay, go back. Rook e to c1.
Queen's
Queen's got to go.
almost,
Queen's
yeah.
got to go all the way to g6 or f5. Now you
Now,
take a.
now we
Now you
take.
take a7.
Okay, so this is a way out,
Yeah, but
but
it's tricky
it's very tricky.
and still fairly even. Oh, I don't know, man.
Yikes. Okay, so time is ticking down to almost under 10 minutes.
Oh, he found it.
He found it. Great move
What a
by
guy.
Daniel. Wow. Nice move. Okay. So, trading probably going to happen. But, context yet again.
Yeah.
Does he want to give up the queens?
He's
With
got plenty of time to think too.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Although I probably would have been thinking on Daniel's time there.
He was probably hoping that he wouldn't find that move, and he did. I think that other queen f3 business line was too computer like.
Well, I don't know. I think it was fine. It's fairly reasonable.
So, Tanish surely taking is kind of a last resort if you want to win the game.
Yeah.
And if you are not taking, do you take on e2 and allow tempo on your
Right.
queen? You have to calculate that out. So, of course, you could just take.
It's the
There's
same
no.
sort of thing with the G pawn in the last game. Whether the threat is more
Yeah,
dangerous than the execution.
right. So if queen takes, we have this discovery opening up on the queen, right? But so what? You just take.
Oh, the
Um,
discovery. I didn't even think about that.
so if takes,
Yeah.
immediately just worried about what can.
Does that work though?
No, not necessarily. I'm just saying that this exists. Just but it's tempo with a queen though, and you're just gonna trade
Oh,
then. So I think there's nothing really scary about it. It just I
right.
think he's probably more worried about this, right?
Which is, yeah, yeah.
More worried about that because then where do you
Probably
go?
what I would play.
You just take again.
pick, and then
And then do you hit the queen first or what? I mean, I guess you could take now. Um, but
C5's forcing. All of a sudden, we've got more activity than we're comfy with.
yeah. Um, oh, I for a second there, I was like, well, wait, hold on. If you do this, right, that's game over. Um, but you can take with the queen.
Queen takes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just no good. Although, is there an intermezzo there?
Sarah, what?
Is there an intermezzo here that I'm missing? What's the move?
You take the rook.
The rook. What am I doing?
Yeah,
Bad.
the rook we just threatened.
Bad, man.
Um,
Okay, so back to the game.
sure.
What to do?
Well,
Trade or take the pawn or something else.
he's just got to be. He's got to be calculating the queen maneuver. In my opinion, that's what he's thinking about.
I think he's going to take.
You think he's going to take the pawn?
Yeah.
He's got to know it's double-edged, but it's a way forward, you know.
Yeah. It's a way to maybe not get a pie in their face, potentially. Whereas trading queens, how can you win the game? I just don't see enough attacking chances,
Yep.
you know?
It'd have to be pawn play.
Right, yeah, it'd have to come down to. But even that, we're at a disadvantage on the queen side if you're Tanish. Um, your majority's on the king side, which is less valuable.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd be shocked if we did not see queen takes a2 here.
Knight takes e3 is fascinating, but it loses on the spot.
In this position?
Knight takes e3.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's considering like rook c6 or something crazy like that. Knight b4 works, but it doesn't look very cash money, you know. I think his goal should be to keep the queens on the board. So if he's thinking he needs the queen, he's got to think of a way to keep it on. Moves that defend his queen go out the door immediately. So he must just be calculating, checking, double checking, which is an excellent thing to do. Checking and double checking that capture.
Yeah.
And a hushed silence falls over the crowd.
Eagerly awaiting the pie. Everyone's ready for dessert.
I eat dessert first in case I die in the middle of the meal.
Good call.
I noticed you have like a support channel thing under the video, but it doesn't actually lead to anything where you can like donate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tried it, and it leads to basically a blank page.
Nice.
I don't know how that. It's like a Streamlabs thing.
Oh, is it? Interesting.
Yeah, it's a Streamlabs link, and I don't know how that works.
Clearly, neither do I.
That's okay. I'm just glad nobody's tried to give you money and couldn't.
Yeah, I missed my chance of retirement because I didn't investigate how to use the damn thing.
Due to recent events, I am completely out of money, or I would give you some.
Yeah, we are perpetually any money that we have immediately goes to diapers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, divorces for chess players are tough because she usually gets all the white pieces.
Ba-dum-ps.
Exactly. I only got 32 squares now, man.
All right, still thinking. Still
Yeah.
thinking. I
Buddy.
don't see him taking. I mean, maybe okay, maybe in a tournament, right, where you're kind of it's petering out, you think, all right, just trade queens, but again, we are in a different situation than a normal tournament. We're in a match. We're down 2-1. Trading queens is almost like resigning the match.
Yeah. What do you think
And
the environment's like in that room?
I think it's pretty tense, probably. Well, okay,
Are you
these
sure
guys,
Jason's not like?
these guys volunteered to potentially get pies in their face, and we do have queen takes.
You think Jason's passing around
Oops.
like Hennessy, or do you think he's like, do you think he's just sitting there thinking, tense on the couch, or?
I think he's probably rooting um
Well, he's
for
rooting for his co-star.
rooting for a tied match probably.
He's rooting for his co-star
Takes
in the his bald master
bald master.
videos.
Yeah, we haven't seen any bald master recently. Okay, so what's happening now? Now white threatening things
I would love
again.
it if this worked, but it doesn't
And yeah, why doesn't it?
because of Queen takes
Oh,
E2.
yeah,
Oops,
of
a
course.
little too
The
far back.
discovery that I was talking about. So yeah, we've got the idea that we had looked at. Rook over, queen going to take again.
Could see Queen C2 if he gets spooked. I don't see why though.
Queen c2.
So I suppose well, maybe not because, well, I could see there being some fear about about see, it's got to be F5 because if he goes anywhere else, we remove the defender. Makes sense.
Mm,
So he's got to find F5. That
mm,
is if that happens, if C2 happens,
yeah.
um, because of this.
I think I would just take on b3. I don't see why not.
Well, neither does he. That's why he's thinking. It's a good thing to think.
Time almost back to even now. Daniel was in the hole quite a bit and almost equalized now. So that's good for him.
Ugh.
Nice to see the guys taking their thinks when they need to, and we haven't really seen any big blunders in
Yeah.
this match, except when in time pressure. There's been some end game mishaps, but in terms of the openings, the middle games, we haven't seen any really bad moves. Like they've just played really good chess for the most part.
These
And
players take more time on one move than some of my students do a whole game. I'm dead serious.
yeah,
So,
it's funny. Yeah, there's anxiety with some players have a hard time just sitting on a move, right? You just feel uncomfortable and just feel like you have to move, and that's not the best way to go about classical
well, they
chess.
also treat the game like whack-a-mole. Yes,
But yeah, I mean, not just your students, just speaking kind of
in
generally
general.
about classical chess and how it's hard to sometimes sit there,
Yeah,
especially when you're in an uncomfortable position or just not feeling great or tired. I've been in
human
tournaments.
feelings.
I've been in tournaments tired before and just didn't want to calculate and just
I don't
made a
know
move.
any. I don't know the last time I've been in a tournament where I wasn't completely exhausted.
Yeah,
To be dead honest.
I don't think I've ever played in a tournament where I wasn't tired. I just
Hey, we hit double digits.
what's that?
We hit
Oh,
double
oh my
digits.
goodness, 10
Woo
viewers.
woo! Popping champagne.
Everybody's ready to see the
Oh, we're back
dramatic
down
finish.
again. Put the champagne bottles back. Put the put the top back on it. Oh no, it doesn't work. Put the bubbles back in.
Let me see. We've got an iPad that's not connected to the channel yet. I can go log on with that,
Disgusting. I love it.
and then okay. So
Ah,
ooh, okay.
zing.
We get the. I think that was the better move. Um, getting the queen out of the line of fire. The plan has to be queen to f5 now, as you mentioned,
Yep.
and
Otherwise,
otherwise there's
boom.
problems. Yep. And so I'm wondering if Daniel must see rook a c1, creating that threat,
Yeah, he's got it. I mean, that's a basic
and
tactic.
even even though it is defended, I still think it's a great move.
Even though
Going
what's defended.
even though you can defend, sorry, with queen f5 retreating back,
Yeah,
I
because
still think it makes a lot of practical sense to do that.
yeah,
And then we
you have to
can,
be accurate.
yeah, and then we can infiltrate with our queen somewhere.
Anytime a move demands accuracy, it's going to be great for time pressure. Let's see what the interwebs are saying. The, the chess club informant here. Oh, we got live video. Yo.
We have live video.
uh, Jason is such what a dweeb. Go check. He's got a short video of him putting whipped cream on the pie. What a oh my god. That's awesome. Oh, we have rook takes
Is this
a7.
live?
It wasn't live. It was a short video.
Oh, I was like, wow, impressive. We're gonna do a live pie in the face. That's actually not a bad idea. Okay, so we got rook a7,
Yeah. Oh man.
and
Oh,
what is the move now? Mm, moving the. What is the move?
I don't know. Because now we've got pressure on Bishop.
Do we have to move our king over?
I don't think so. I think we just
Oh my
we
gosh.
have we have big tactics
Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah, bishop f8. It's hard to see. It's a gross move to play. Oh,
Okay.
before I forget, I'm going to take tomorrow off because I still feel like a corpse.
Yeah.
Let's see how many days I have off.
Yeah, Chase not feeling well, still being a trooper here, commenting with us.
Classic.
And I'm seeing the video that you're talking about now. Good stuff.
It's funny. Uh, let's see. God, what a terrible system. I don't know how many days off I have. You'd think it would be easy.
I'm going
Let's
to
see.
take this ugly blunder off the board. Okay. So, bishop f8 is the move. What else is there? Okay, so this kind of move, allowing this and this, but then your bishop is hanging at the end. So we could end up with something like this. Which, what is even going on here? It's kind of messy. Yeah. Just a draw, apparently, but very messy. So what is going to happen here? And he finds it. Bishop f8 on the board. Nice move.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
So what do we do?
Well, it's interesting. We can play queen f3, but that's forcing more trades. Then again, for the white pieces, we don't really care about that, do we?
So if queen f3, we're threatening um, a bunch of things here all at once. Boom.
Yeah.
And then, so boom. If boom, then boom.
Oh, that can't happen.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of tactics there.
So
So you take the rook first.
yeah.
And then you go defend. And now it's my passed pawn versus yours. What did we just see here? Oh, hold up.
What
on
happened?
earth?
We got a bunch of moves.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Wait, what's happening?
He gave up the queen. Why? Oh no. It works. I mean, okay, Daniel, I see you. But here's the rub.
Oh no.
We can just take. We can take and win this end game. Goodness me.
Oh my gosh.
Double exclam Daniel.
Wow. I'm getting so tired. It took me a very long time to even comprehend what he just did. That was really good.
Entirely unnecessary what he just did, but look,
But it
man.
forces the end,
Yeah,
right?
just take. Take. You can win this.
You gotta get the king up there, though.
Of course you do.
Whoa. Okay.
You can win this. Whether or not he thinks he can is another thing.
He's probably calculating it. He's come this far.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
How's the well, I got my fireworks and my free punch and yeah. It would be really honorable if Daniel refused to do the pie in the face and just like cut a slice. Just like, yo, look at this dude. Oh, that screwed it up. Oh no.
What is happening?
Oh no.
It didn't screw it up, though, because the draw
But it
is.
did. When you go from +5 to that,
Was it +5?
yes. Yes.
Right.
Is your fish box on?
My brain stopped working.
That's okay.
Okay, so
The reason it changes it is because now it's not white's initiative anymore. Now black can start giving checks and then make room, right?
but okay, I see now. You're giving up the bishop, yeah.
And
It's still very tricky though.
no, don't get me wrong, it is, but okay, now we're back. White has to see this. White has to have the chutzpah to go into this end game. See, look,
it
what he's doing is he's
pushes.
trying to make it work without realizing it already works. But it's hard to see that it already works. See, even back then, even here, we got to get that king involved. Take some space, maybe.
Okay, so on the live board, the queen is behind the d pawn, so
Let's go back.
we can't give that immediate check right now.
Not anymore. No, we got to make
But
room for the king.
so why did the pawn push then? Um, I'm not seeing why it doesn't work anymore. So before it was we can jump down with the check and we're giving up the bishop and all that stuff. But
Why white is not winning anymore?
yeah,
Well, let's see. Say we make room. Takes up.
oh, that's why. Because the whole idea is the room. Yeah, giving black tempo or tempo, giving black time to make the
Any
room.
move to make
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
right, right. And
H4. Uh,
yeah, eventually the way out is to get a perpetual, right?
I don't know, man. Oh, they're going to be slapping themselves. Then again, this is incredibly difficult. Tanish Down to 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Oh, he
Oh,
found it. He found it.
oh, buddy. What a guy.
And Daniel takes. Oh, oh! I thought you.
I was going to
I
say,
was
this
watching you.
works.
I was watching you, not the live board.
Oh! Ah! 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 He did it. He did the thing. Ah! Ah! Oh, no. Oh, no. He didn't go all the way. Boo.
Okay, so still we don't know what's gonna happen here because
Boo. Take the rook. Okay. No, I just wanted to see the end game. I'm selfish.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so now we're back to interesting. Tanish very low on time.
Maybe he's banking on that.
Okay, so he goes queen c5.
Here, there, all good ideas. Try to make black prove it. That's what you got to do. Okay. Push. You push yours, I push mine. How you gonna defend it, guy?
Okay, we got that on the board. Oof.
Tough. Oh, buddy, I don't know.
Yikes.
It's very compelling.
It sure is scary.
Yeah.
We're sitting here with the eval bar, not too worried, but
This look.
if I was black, I would
No,
definitely
I
be.
would be going for the draw right now. Yeah.
Yeah, perpetual. Just try to get out of here. Yeah, that's what he's doing. And I have a feeling Daniel's just gonna go with this
Uh-huh.
because that's really all you can do. You don't have you can't do anything else.
Whack.
And is Tanish going to try to go for more? You can't,
30
but
seconds.
he does try to go for more because of the situation, right? But
Yeah. A lot more than rating on the line. I wonder if this falls under the ethics code in USCF. Playing for humiliation.
yeah, right.
And he's got it too. He's found it.
Okay.
God, these players are incredible. They're Nyan, that's for sure.
Queen up. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get destroyed here this weekend by Daniel, I imagine. Okay. Queen up. And what's the move now? Oof. Time is gonna be a real big factor here. Tanish already down to 29 seconds. But if he moves quickly, could also get Daniel down in time pressure. And
Didn't he just they repeat the position?
they just repeated. Yeah.
Okay.
And repeat it again.
Okay.
Now what?
Still
Now we're
going.
going over this way. Okay.
Tough, man. Tough.
Now what?
You're stuck, man. I mean, throw in a check for good measure, I suppose.
Okay, Daniel down to 2 minutes.
That would just be helping black, though. Maybe he's thinking about getting his king involved, but I think that would be dangerous.
Very interesting end game. Very imbalanced. 2 rooks against the queen. And
Be this way.
and a baby queen sitting there on b7, just dying to grow into a full queen. And we are getting down to time pressure. Can this happen? Can Tanish just simply
throws in the check?
Okay. That's easy for Tanish. Just move. Can we get the time pressure to eke out a flag, win, and get an Armageddon game? Okay.
Takes.
It's all about the time now.
I'm gonna pre-move.
Yeah, I mean, although
I played a game like this the other day in a Najdorf, and I managed to.
Takes Tanish. You gotta go. Gotta go.
There we go.
Check. Up.
Pre-move.
Tanish down to 17. 20 seconds. What's happening?
I think we'll see a flag, dirty flag.
I think so.
Yeesh.
Oh no. Why is that bad?
It's just weaknesses, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Heck.
Daniel has the luxury of just hiding. Tanish now under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, man.
Making moves. Daniel trying to see the way through. Very logical.
G7,
giving a check.
probably the best. Yeah, okay.
Okay, queen down now. And Daniel taking down to 33 seconds. Nope, these guys are just pretty much insta-moving. This could go on a while. What? Is that a queen? Did he lose his queen?
No, I'm just behind.
No, the DGT board there.
There.
28 seconds.
Flag.
Back to safety.
We're going to see a flag, I think.
Oof. Tanish getting very, very low. Flag is right happening. What's happening? The flag? Nope. 2 seconds.
The time is just.
Oh my gosh. That has to be a flag. Yep. Nope.
Wait. I'm just gonna stop the board.
Yeah.
Let's just watch the live board here.
It says zeros, but there must be 1 second on it.
Just gonna watch the live board here.
Daniel desperately trying to just get a win. He doesn't need a win to. He doesn't need a win to win the match, but why not
Hey, he wants
try?
some rating, man.
Yeah, he wants to win. And I think he's going to do it. I mean, I don't see how Tanish can make all the moves quick enough.
Yeah.
You have to watch out for, obviously, Queen E8 ends the game. Can't do stuff like that. And the clocks have stopped. Did they agree to a draw? What happened?
What a joke. Yeah. Yeah, they did. Uh,
Okay. Wow. Oof. Well, it was
yeah.
a draw, so I suppose that's fair.
Let's go back though to that.
But let me update the scene here. Daniel wins. Daniel wins 2.5 to a half.
So this end game.
Congratulations to Daniel. Great match. Played some really good chess. A really, really fighting end game skills. I think that's probably what was the difference in this match was Daniel's end game
Yeah.
technique.
So look, this end game we were talking about.
Yep. He's just not in the
So
square
the
because
king.
it's.
Well, he is.
Oh, he is.
He is. This is in the square. Um, he just is.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's why
Yeah.
we don't push and lose. We get our king in. And if let's see here, there.
Oh.
See, this doesn't work.
Yep. Yep. I see
So
it. Yep.
it's just a distraction.
Right.
It's a
Get the
complete
queen. Yeah.
distraction. We're not ever going to try and promote the pawn. We're just
Yeah. It has
yeah.
to be dealt with. Then we go and gobble the rest. And
This is the only move. It's got to
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And this is just lost. So that was the end game um, that that I had in mind. But I'm curious to see some numbers here. Let's see here. I want to take a look at this game, see how accurate this guy's played, according to Computron. It'll take a minute. I mean, phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah. They played great. I loved that. I love this whole ending here. It was really.
Get out of here.
What'd they play?
Oh, you know what? Sorry. Let's see. This got messed up at some point, but so never mind. I was wrong. Just guess.
What they played? Accuracy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna say because it was such a long game.
The first game.
Oh, the first game. Uh, I would say the first game was very accurate. I would say 88.
96.
96. Wow.
2,400 for each.
Wow, that's great.
Um, that's disgusting.
Can you save these PGNs.
PGNs.
Do you have this one too?
Yeah, let me hold on. Let's see here. Let me pull this one up. Let's see here. Yeah, that first game was deadly accurate to a fault.
Yeah, it was GM stuff in that first game.
Yes, it was very good. Okay, this one is a little more human. We have 80, 88s basically, 87 and 88.
Okay. But
Um,
still very good. Is
so
that like a 2000 type?
let's take a look. So it is dead even until Queen B4 because let's see. Yeah, Rook takes F8 was best, but yeah, it was fairly even until then. Um, and then the end game, I mean, good God, man, just brutal.
All right, so we don't have any. We're not gonna have any live
It's okay.
pie in the face on this channel, but
Yeah.
I am not going to keep my eye off the Facebook page because sooner or later there's gonna be a video popping up, and it's gonna be somebody getting a pie in the face, or you could have a very gentlemanlike thing happening where you say high five, good game. Here's a slice of pie. I am not going to shove it in your face.
That's what I would do.
At
I
which
don't
point, I think Jason himself grabs the pie.
grab the pie and put it in both their faces.
Probably, yes.
I bought this pie for you to throw, not eat, fatty.
Exactly.
That's what he'd say to me, at least.
So with that, should we wrap it up? Chase, what do you think?
Yeah,
You have any final
um,
thoughts?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Do we know the next one?
I do not know of a match coming up, but I think it seems like everyone's wanting to get involved, so I would imagine there will be a next one.
I love it.
Um, but yeah, maybe some of the games from coming up this weekend will be on DGT. I'm not sure. I can do a recap of my own game and show how horrible I did. But yeah, thanks again for commentating. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned to the Waco Chess Club Informant Facebook page. I would imagine one or more videos coming.
Mm-hmm.
Just great chess. Yeah, just playing like 2,000 plus each game. Very good. And yeah, we've had fun. Thanks, Chase, for joining me as usual.
Of course.
And yeah, with that, we'll sign off and catch you guys.